Hey everyone, Chris with Coalition Gaming here, and we're going to be checking out a wireless gamepad today. So a company called EasySMX reached out about reviewing one of their products, and since I've been into the emulator stuff as well as playing on a gamepad with game like Gang Beasts, I'm definitely interested in the wireless controller. Right now, I use an Xbox 360 remote, this guy, with this adapter. Now this is like a $12 or $13 adapter to get the Xbox 360 remote to work in Windows, but the Xbox 360 remote has its own issues with input lag, and the input lag makes some games, especially on emulator, really difficult to play. Well, with this remote, it was a totally different story, and this is one of the reasons it interested me the most. So what this control comes with is a Type-C charging cable, so that's nice, and the dongle that you connect to the computer in order for it to work. So this is wireless 2.4, which should mean that it's relatively low latency, and then all you got to do is plug that in, turn the remote on, and at least in my experience, it automatically synced together. Didn't have to do anything. Steam automatically recognized it, which was really nice because I didn't have to configure anything in Steam. And when I loaded up an emulator, all I did was map the buttons. And mapping the buttons in SNES 9X at least was super simple. So playing with the remote, I noticed that the input lag issue I had with the Xbox 360 setup that I used, gone. This is a perfectly solid remote. I can't notice anything. It plays as good as a normal remote. The D-pad on it is really nice, I have to say, because getting the on the Xbox 360 remote, getting the up left, up right, down left, down right is a little more difficult, but on this remote, it's super easy. So that would be really nice for fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something like that, where you have to use those corner buttons in order to get your combos right, do the special abilities and all that. The buttons themselves, they feel pretty durable. The remote is kind of lightweight. It's a little bit lighter and smaller than the Xbox 360 remote, but the built-in battery on it gives it a little bit more heft, and it's got about I think they rate it for at least 8 hours of usage. 2 hours to go from 0 to full charge when you're charging it, but 8 hours of usage is pretty solid. So the joysticks on the remote, they feel pretty good. They're solid to me. Nothing about this remote screams low quality, so I think anybody would be pretty happy with it. Although I guess the overall feel on it is just a bit plasticky. There's no rubberized stuff. This thatching pattern is probably just for grip. There's no material there. It's just still part of the plastic. But overall, it's solid enough. I think for around $25 to $30 what these go for, it's a pretty good deal for a wireless remote, considering that if you wanted to do the Xbox 360 remote method, you're looking at, I think, what do those cost? $30 to $50 per remote, then you still need the adapter. Or if you wanted an Xbox One remote hooked up to your PC, those are, I think, at least $50 for one of those. So this is a pretty solid solution, and I really liked that it was just super easy to set up. Windows automatically recognized it, and Steam automatically recognized it. And you know, when it comes to game controllers and the people that play games with controllers, you want simplicity, and I think this gives it to you. So playing through a game like Super Mario Bros. With the Xbox 360 remote, I really had to adjust for the input latency that was on there. So I ended up dying a lot. Trying to reach the edge of platforms or jumping at the right time was difficult with that remote. However, with this remote, it's really good. I didn't have any issues with it. It felt perfectly natural. Didn't feel like I needed to adjust or anything like that. So then I switched it up to Battletoads and Battle Maniacs, one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo, and again, no issues. Now, the Xbox 360 remote didn't feel so bad on this game, but this remote felt a lot better. So I got to go with this remote in terms of a recommendation for a cost-conscious remote for a computer. And then I think I also played Dirt Tracks FX. That game was pretty cool. It worked pretty good. Really interesting game on the Super Nintendo, considering it was like 3D graphics, but yeah, that was kind of cool. 3D graphics, I guess you could call it. And I finished it off with a little bit of Gang Beasts. Now, Gang Beasts, super fun game, but you pretty much need a remote to play it well, and this remote gets the job done. So if you wanted a controller to play games on your Android device, if you have an OTG adapter, it's I guess they call it an on-the-go adapter that lets you connect a USB device to your phone, this will also work. So you have to plug the wireless dongle into the OTG adapter, and Android will recognize that, then you can play whatever games you want through there, an emulator, an Android, whatever, map your stuff there too. And also, I found this kind of surprising, it's compatible with the PS3, so you can plug the dongle into the PS3, turn it on, and the PS3 will recognize it. So I guess if you needed a budget remote or just a cheap wireless remote for a PlayStation 3, this has got you covered too, if you're still playing on a PlayStation 3. It's 2019, come on. So I have to say that this remote is a solid unit. Thank you EasySMX for sending it out. I have to say that this is just a great product. It's responsive, it's got a good feel, it's got 8-hour plus battery life, that was pretty cool. And USB Type-C, compatibility with PS3 and Android with the right adapter, I guess on Android, but you know, still, it's not included. You're gonna have to get that, it is extra, but it's a nice feature, right? So, coming from somebody who plays on an emulator, somebody who's always wanted a good like living room couch setup that you want to remote with, and playing games that way, I gotta say, definitely recommend this thing because it gets the job done and it gets it done well and doesn't cost a lot of money. So if you guys wanted to check more out on this remote, it'll be linked in the description below. I'm Chris with Coalition Gaming. Make sure you check out our related videos. They'll be right over here. Join our Discord, our Twitter, follow us over there, Instagram. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We always have more coming. Again, everything linked in the description below, you guys. Have a good one. Bye.